Well, here we go again. It's Monday.
Indeed. Not sure really what that means, but it is Monday.
For some reason, I'm smiling, and I usually don't smile on a Monday.
That's because you're here with me, bro. Always a good reason to be in a good mood.
Huh. All right, then.
You wouldn't know to do without it, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, batten down the hatches. We'd like to introduce you to the greatest combat sports show bar none. You are now in the Beatdown.
You wanna get beat down?
Let us now introduce you to your host, the Badger,
What's going on, family? It is 2 p.m. Oh, wait a minute. It's 11 a.m. Welcome to the Beatdown. Time to get our week started off proper like. What's going on, Badger?
You're childish. First of all, you're
Very much
childish.
so. Very much so.
I'm happy to be here, man. Monday therapy. We got so much to talk about. We were treated to such a good weekend of combat sports across the MMA and boxing spectrum. So I was ready for this show after the show on yesterday, bro, because we still had so much more to share. So
Yeah.
I'm here for it all, man. How about you?
Hey, the schedule said I had to be here, so I'm here and ready.
Oh, okay. All right.
And ready. Yeah, there were so many things we didn't get a chance to really talk about because of the formality of Sunday and Wednesday show, which is a good thing. But then we get to really expound upon them. See, I got the X in the dictionary. Expound upon them today. And that's X as in EX, not X as in X-Men.
I mean, I don't know what you want me to do with that, but listen. So you didn't want to stop talking about this fight on yesterday. You just want to go on about it. So now we had a full, complete, almost 48 hours to digest what we saw Kamaru Usman do to Gilbert Burns, bro. What is your final assessment as we put a bow on 258 and turn our focus to 259?
Correctamundo.
So, Kamaru Usman, to me, is one of the baddest men on the planet. And he cemented that with the way he dealt with Gilbert Burns. Kamaru, he deals with people in their, it's like in their strengths. I'm amazed when I see him fight. It's like when I see John Jones fight. It's like everybody said, wow, how is he going to match Gilbert Burns strike for strike? You know, oh, he'll use his wrestling and he'll keep him against the cage and he'll take him down and he'll beat on him there and that man stood and went strike for strike with Gilbert Burns. Gilbert Burns was trying to engage with him in round 2 and round 3 to try to take him down, and he couldn't. So, listen, he used a masterful job and very simple techniques that are very effective. He used that jab like a ball ping hammer or piston, whatever alliteration you want to give it. He used that jab to perfection, to the point where I think Gilbert was going to ask him, Do you have another hand? Can you use your other hand? I'd rather have something other than that jab." And what I could not figure out, and at times it baffles me with other fights. If your leg kicks were hurting Usman, why did you go away from the leg kicks? Every time Burns struck him with that inside or outside calf kick, you could see it on Usman's body. He has a great poker face, but his body couldn't lie. So that would be my question to Gilbert Burns. Why did you go away from the outside calf kicks? Why? You were winning with that.
What I found interesting that you said, which I don't agree with, is that we were wondering, well, no, that Kamaru Usman deals with people in their strengths. Actually, he doesn't. What Kamaru Usman does is he makes you fight in a space where you might not be as good as you think you are, right? Gilbert Burns, we knew was the physically faster guy. We talked about this on the show. We thought that that's why he would give Kamaru problems because we felt he had a quicker hand speed, which he did. But speed, as we know, my friend, especially in the sweet science, does not always mean that you're a better fighter. Sometimes speed can run you right into a brick wall. And that's what happened. Kamaru forced Gilbert to box because he knew that he was strong enough to keep Gilbert off him. And Gilbert knew that too, which is why he didn't try to take Kamaru down until he got hit with those jabs. Yeah. And what we saw, bro, was something she said very simple. And that's the shortest point between two distances is always what?
That jab.
A straight line. Mm-hmm. And if you watch Kamaru Usman's jab, and I tell my guys in the gym this all the time, you didn't see an elbow flare. You didn't see a shoulder twitch. You saw that jab fired from the same exact position every single time. And because he did that, Gilbert Burns couldn't see it. And then when he couldn't see it, now I can hit you with it hard without it having to be fast because now I can switch from from orthodox to southpaw, and you still can't tell. And when he started hitting him with the straight right jab out of the southpaw position, that's when that face started to break up, and that's when we began to see doubt in Gilbert Burns' eyes, and it began to happen in round 2, and it went downhill from there. And like you said, it was a very simple strategy and it worked.
Well, you could tell that even though Gilbert Burns was very much more faster than Kamaru Usman, he didn't have the boxing technique. He just had fast hands, and that doesn't work.
Yeah, those punches were looping.
Yeah,
they were kind of coming. Yeah, it was
they were hard, but they were
fast. But
And you hear people say, "Well, Floyd was fast, but Floyd had incredible technique. He technically was one of the most gifted boxers we're gonna see in our lifetime.
Yep.
And he was able, like Roy Jones Jr., to adapt that technical boxing skill to a style that people don't see every day. So if you don't see that style every day, you're not ready for it when you get in. I don't care who you get as a sparring partner. But I looked at Gilbert Burns and in the first round, the way he was able to touch Usman in the beginning, I think Usman said, okay, now I got to really focus. I got to lock in, and we're going to make this plan execute. I can't be cute with it. I got to be determined. And you're right.
And to your point, I'm sorry, bro, I just want to get this out there before I forgot. And to your point about the calf kicks, the reason why Gilbert Burns stopped the calf kicks is because he was getting hit with a jab. The calf kicks were very effective the first half of the first round, but once Usman was able to recover and start landing that jab, because there was such a significant reach advantage in Usman's favor, he was able to hit Burns from a distance where Burns couldn't get the kick off. So he started backing him up with the jab coming from the orthodox stance.
But that baffles me, bro, because he hit him in the second round with 2 calf kicks and it bothered him. But he was doing them so far apart. What you do, you put a guard up.
I can't see that.
Bro.
The jab is so straight, I don't know where it's coming from. So even if I put my guard up, now I'm susceptible to probably being taken down. Remember, we don't know what's going through his mind other than the fact, remember, bro, he can't see these jabs. That's why he was getting pancaked like that. He was getting hit so clean, bro, like.
But you know why looping hooks and jabs started working in boxing, right? In the 60s, the 70s, because originally people were jabbing like Usman in a straight line. Now Usman's punches were coming lower. They were coming from a lower point. Like Michael Jai White used to tell people, if you punch from a lower point, but you punch in a straight line, it's not something people are used to seeing. And they're going to miss it in the ring. So I agree with what you're saying. But how do you make adjustments to that? That's where your corner comes in.
And that is the difference. Again, we have to give credit to that, bro. He's been here. This is your first time. Listen, like he said, I went Cody Garbrandt on crazy on him. Well, that's what I tried to do when I heard him. And he gave the champ an opportunity to recover, and that was it, bro. Give Kamaru Usman credit for also being the more experienced guy in this type of environment. That matters, bro.
Well, let's make a correction there. He didn't give the champion a chance to recover. You saw Usman's foot technique and the fact that he does what I'm always screaming at the TV for people to do. He circled back to the center of the cage. He didn't stay on the cage when he got clipped. He circled back to the center to where he could get a base, and then he can work his jab from there to
or
recover.
Make you have to find me. I can make you find me too. Yeah, for sure.
A lot of guys and women, when they get hit and they get clipped, they want to find the cage, and it's the worst place to be.
Or try to immediately fight back.
Yeah, they didn't get safe,
and that's what we saw with Josh Warrington.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right, bro. But man, we just gotta give Usman the kudos he deserves for a masterful performance. I mean, granted, he got hurt. He got clipped a couple times. He got hurt once. That's another thing too. What is his head made out of? Like
Nigerian granite.
Yeah, it's made out of vibranium, right? That dude can take a punch, bro. He can take a lick now. That's not to be understated. He has a chin. For whatever that's worth, he's got one.
Because he got smacked right off the bat. I was like, ooh. It made me sit up in my seat because I was like, ooh.
And you know what I was just thinking about now that you said that? Was that also a part of Gilbert Burns' advantage to start fast? Because he knew that Usman he's a computer. He's not a new one. His software is a little old, so it takes him a while to download it.
He's more like a TRS-80 running on a floppy disk. Yeah.
Right. But once he gets you after that first round, it's over with.
Yeah.
But if you can get on him early, you got a chance. So I think that might have been what Gilbert Burns' advantage was too.
I don't understand. Gilbert has a good gas tank. He jumped on him. Got it. He slowed down towards the end of that first round because Usman had figured him out. You have a corner for a reason, not just to give you water and wipe you down. You have a corner for a reason. When they saw the trajectory of those punches, okay, Gilbert, you cannot have a wide base with your hands because he's easily splitting your guard.
What did you say earlier? You said when you haven't seen that style before, there's nothing you prepare for. He has never been in the ring with anyone in MMA that throws a jab like that. Okay. And threw it the way he threw it, bro.
But your corner's got to tell you, close that guard down. That classic guard.
Listen, Henry Hooft is not in that corner, bro.
That's right.
These are other coaches. Yeah, this is different. This is different, bro. This is when all this stuff comes into play.
Yeah.
So, I mean... I don't know, man. I'm just saying.
If I'm Gilbert Burns, when I go back and look at this, and I know it's going to be hard to go back and look at, but you go back and look at this tape, and you see where these jabs are coming from. He never recoiled fully when you look at Usman. He kept his elbow at a point to where...
He threw the perfect textbook 101 jab. That's it. And it's a marvel to us because we don't see many fighters throw it that way.
Jamal Charlo.
You know who else throws a textbook jab? Keith Thurman.
Yeah.
Keith Thurman. Bro, it's very few guys that do it the right way. Floyd Mayweather. But when they do
Larry Holmes.
Man, if you do it, it's almost, it's very hard. It's like a fastball. You got a good fastball. Guess what you also got? No, I did the reverse. You got a good changeup. Guess what?
You got a good fastball.
You got a good fastball.
Because you got something to change up from.
Because it all looks the same.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening right now. Is it coming fast? Is it not coming fast? Same thing with the jab. If you got a good one, bro, it's just hard to deal with, man.
I don't get it. That's when my dad trained me as a kid. That was the first thing he trained me to deal with. To deliver a jab. And you're talking about in the street, not in the, in the ring. When I got to college and started boxing, my coach was like, wow, you have a jab. Because most people he has to teach to throw a jab. because you get in there and you think boxing is just winging it at the bag. No, you have an elbow to set the point of your jab. Now, when you set the point of your jab, wherever your elbow is, you're gonna extend that thing straight, straight, and it's gonna hit the mark almost every time.
Yep.
It's like a sight on the end of a rifle. The sight doesn't kill you, but the sight sets the trajectory of the bullet.
Yeah.
So it's just I love watching. I'm gonna go back and watch the fight again because
Definitely worth it. It's definitely worth it.
it's just the way when you look at Usman, he keeps his hands down, keeps them low, but they're in position to where he can do that.
And he always
comes.
seems to have his chin kind of tucked a little bit too. You always
Yeah.
hit that big flat part of his head. And that didn't hurt him.
No, that's the hardest part of the head, as Brian Denny told you.
Yeah.
Hardest part of the head, kid. So,
Yeah.
but for those of you who really want to learn how to throw a good jab, watch that fight. Go back and watch Larry Holmes. It's hard to watch Floyd Mayweather and learn it, like Roy Jones or James Toney, who also threw a really good jab. But if you watch Larry Holmes and then progress backwards to Muhammad Ali, you can really learn how to throw a good jab. Set your elbow. Michael Jai White got me thinking, and it made me really look at Roy Jones Jr. and Muhammad Ali and Sugar Ray Robinson and Joe Louis in a different light, because
Lewis had a jab too.
they didn't keep their hands up here. They didn't have the peekaboo. They didn't even have that conventional textbook style of the 70s and 80s. They kept a hand up, but they kept that jab hand, that lead hand down around their chest. And when they extended that jab up to your chin, you're right, because you got your guard up, you're not going to see it. You're going to feel it, but you're not going to see it. And eventually, you're going to bring your hands trying to catch it, and that's when they would come across. And that looked pretty cool.
It was a thing of beauty, man, to watch Ali throw that jab on the move like that. I used to really like watching him do that. Hey, Patrick Teixeira got washed.
Ooh-wee.
Completely washed. Out of the picture by Brian Castano, and immediately after he hung out Patrick Teixeira to dry and put them clothespins on the line, he walked back into the house and said, "Where's Jamel Charlo?"
Woo!
Bro, Castano called him out. We know what Jared Hurd's intentions are, and that's to create a buzz around maybe him getting Charlo right after Castano, because that is the next fight for both of those men. It's very early. We don't know nothing yet. They don't have a date yet, but we know what's going to happen because it's in the house.
And it's closing out the division.
What do you think of Brian Castano, bro?
I like Castano. I thought, again, this is going to sound kind of crass, but I didn't learn much from him beating Teixeira because I didn't think Teixeira had a shot against Charlo. So, I just think it is what it is. It's just a progression and the maturation of that title. And I think it's going to be a good fight, but I would still give the nod to Charlo versus Castano.
Well, here's what we do know about that fight, and it's probably not going to go the distance. Brian Castano fights in a very aggressive manner. That's just how Jamel Charlo wants to fight you.
Come on in my wheelhouse. Yes.
You want to fight? You want to exchange punches? It'll be fun while it lasts, but my early thoughts on this fight is I don't see it lasting very. It's not going to last very long. I don't see it going the distance.
No. It's funny. You brought up a point. I used to sit and watch a lot of old fights with my mom and my grandfather. And they both had simple arguments as to why people get beat before the bell rings. Because they get so ingrained in a certain style of fighting that they're not adaptive or fluid enough to adapt a winning style based on the strengths of their opponent. Everybody throws a jab. Everybody knows how to throw a hook. Everybody knows how to throw a right cross. Everybody knows how to throw an uppercut. So Those are your basics, and the foot movement to go with them. So you should be able to adapt your style or your game plan from that to deal with certain fighters. Like, to me, the kryptonite for Jermell Charlo is Tony Harrison. Just based on what we've seen him do. Now, Harrison got tired, got caught late in the fight. But I still believe he is Charlo's kryptonite. If I'm Brian Castano, I look and see what Harrison has done and see if my work in the gym, if I can open my mind and adapt a style that bridges the way I fight and the way I can beat Charlo. But most fighters don't do that. 99% of fighters don't do that.
Yeah, that's called changing your identity for most guys that don't have an adaptive style. That's not what's gonna happen in this fight, man. I mean, I've been watching Castano fight for probably about a good 2.5, maybe 3 years now. Because he steadily kept climbing the ranks, and because of my affiliation with certain people, I was always trying to keep up with it. And I watched this guy fight. Yeah, man, he. And the thing about it is, most of the fights from Argentina that we see, they have a very aggressive style, but they do a lot of pure boxing. Castano almost reminds me of a puncher boxer. He's just trying to hit you, and he might use some head movement here or there. He might move in out of range, but for the most part, he is going to apply pressure.
Right.
I think that for Jermell Charlo, this makes an easier training camp for him. And when I say easy, not in the sense of where he's going to have to get himself mentally for this fight, but more so along how he's going to train physically, because he knows that this guy is going to be there. There's not going to be an element of having to find him, if that makes any sense. So I think when you have to train for a guy that's going to fight a one set way, that makes the camp physically easier, because what you have to prepare for is just one set way.
Right. Hey, I'm looking forward to the fight. Period. I'm looking forward to the fight. I hope they make it. I hope it's around April or May. Because it won't be any earlier than that, because he just won the title. But I really hope they make it, and I can't wait to watch it.
Well, yeah, I mean, by all accounts, it looked like Castano took too much punishment over the course of those 12 rounds. So yeah, I see him being ready early summer, late May, early June, somewhere from there.
Yeah.
And maybe it's a Texas date, maybe it's a Florida date. Don't know how these other states are, if they'll be open by then at that point. But hey, it definitely makes sense. What also makes sense is what is going on with your boy Jojo Diaz. Missed weight by 3.5 or 3.9, either 3.9, 3.5 pounds. Fought to a draw this weekend. What do we think about Jojo Diaz?
Didn't he lose something?
Lost the belt.
Right, on the scales. Yeah,
Yep.
I don't think much of him.
Wow. Okay, well, so I guess there goes the rematch between him and Tevin Farmer.
Yeah.
Now that's a vacant strap. Do we have any idea who's up for that vacant strap? Like who would be the top two guys for it?
And he fought to a
Would
draw,
it be
right?
Would it be JoJo? Yeah, JoJo's fight ended in the draw. It did. He didn't lose. So if he gets entitled, so is he able to fight for the vacant belt immediately?
I would think so. That rematch, or do you need to go back and run it back with the person you fought this weekend?
Because he was the mandatory contender. I don't know how that's going to work. I don't know.
It's going to be interesting.
I should know this, and I don't know this. So yeah, I would like to know that. If anybody out there knows the particulars on that, shoot over to us, because that's useful information. But yeah, that was kind of weird, and especially the level of excitement we saw when he beat Tevin Farmer to win that belt. You thought that moment would have kind of resonated with him, and that something like lack of preparation would not be something we see from someone like him who appeared to be so hungry to get that shot.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of, I don't know. I don't know what to make of that.
Anytime I see somebody lose a title on the scales, it really makes me question their work ethic and their hunger. Because that's just like saying, you know what? I know I'm getting paid as a manager of this company, and I'm just not coming to work on Friday or Monday because it's just difficult days to get out of bed. I'm just not coming to work. You're gonna get fired.
I don't know, bro, if it's more of, I want to say it's not the, it is discipline, but you have to understand that they climbed to get to the highest mountaintop, so there had to be a lot of discipline that goes into that. Maybe it's focus because you got to mountaintop, you got to the highest pinnacle of your sport. There was no shortcut to get there. But maybe your lack of focus, maybe you got there and now you're a little bit diluted, or maybe I don't know, but I just didn't see that from JoJo Diaz. I really didn't. I don't know what to make of it. So
no, it'll kind of throw you off on it.
Yeah, I guess it has. What you got? You had something.
Well, I kind of want to go back to MMA because I wanted to talk about, and now her name just escaped my mind. I had been thinking about it and it's been on my mind.
The Macy Barber.
Macy Barber was pretty much the UFC's next coming of Ronda Rousey. And this weekend, the train got derailed. I started looking at some of her earlier fights, and even from when she was going for a developmental deal, they had already pegged her as the future champion. And from her, she was 5-0 when she came into the UFC. She won the next 3 fights, went to 8-0. And she had a style that was very endearing. She has a smile that's endearing. And just her attitude, fun but cocky. And they just loved it. But she is an example of, and I'm not going to say getting caught up in the hype, but it was as if when I saw her this weekend that her style was just going to guarantee her a win.
I mean, I think what we see is marketability in a certain sport where we know that certain people can thrive a lot easier. I think that's what you really see there, Macy Barber. Her journey's not over. How many professional fights does she have? Or how many for the UFC? It's not that many.
She got 3 or 4 now, I think, for the UFC.
Yeah, her career is very new. And her brand didn't take a hit here because she lost a very good, close and competitive fight. She didn't get stopped. She didn't get submitted. It was a fight that went down to the judges' scorecards and decision. So she'll be fine. I think they'll move her a little bit better going forward. They kind of know where she needs to work from and who she needs to be matched up against, maybe until she gets a better skill set in a set area. But that hype train's still going to continue to roll on. And for whatever it's worth, that's the beauty of MMA in a way. Depending on how you lose, it doesn't really, sometimes it can add value to your stock, dependent or believe it or not.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying it added value to Macy's Barber stock, but I don't believe she took too much of a hit. And I also believe that that there is an opportunity there to grow Alexa Grasso in that Mexican market. The UFC, I heard Dana White say this too. He's trying to build a performance center in Mexico. He's going to build one, I think, somewhere over in the Middle East. And he's building one in China. And now he's thinking about building one somewhere on the motherland. So, yeah, bro, that's not going to hurt the UFC in one bit if Alexa Grasso becomes the next star in Mexico. That's a country that's comparable to the United States in size as far as population. So, yeah, bro, give it a shot. You're going to win there. And that's what the UFC is doing. They're able to build these people because they are the big dogs. They are the kind of the top promotion, the monopoly, so to speak. They're able to go in and colonize places around the globe and groom fighters organically, bro. So this is a win. So, no, Macy Barber will be fine. And this is going to help usher in a lot more resources in Mexico, I can tell you that.
Okay. I like the fact that they kept talking about the fact that it was funny. They just kept saying she was able to train in Mexico find top level competition in Mexico, and it's like, wow. So it took this long to understand that Mexico can compete in more than just boxing in the combat sport.
Well, it took them a while before they got their first champion. Was it Kane?
I think so.
Kane, right? Kane was the first Mexican heavyweight champ in UFC, if I'm not mistaken. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Then they went on a run. So yeah, they've shown you that they can do that. They can compete. They've had a few champions now, a la Brazil. Maybe not as many, but they've had them. I think he also mentioned building a performance institute in Puerto Rico too. If I think I heard him correctly. So, bro, yeah, everybody's getting in on the game here, bro. So yeah, this is good for everybody involved. Macy Barber will be fine.
I know she'll be fine. It was just interesting. I said the same thing when Ronda Rousey went down. It was like, okay, but the difference is, and this was Alexa Grasso's first fight at that weight class.
Right.
And she is not a big 126.
Nobody was broken in this fight.
No.
Ronda Rousey was broken when she got beat, bro.
But let me follow my thought here. When they built Ronda Rousey, they didn't put the only tough competition Ronda Rousey had before Amanda Nunes was Holly Holmes and Miesha Tate. And Miesha was older. So they really walked Ronda Rousey up the ladder like the back staircase. And before you knew it, she was standing on the balcony waving like El Duce. She didn't fight a lot of stiff competition once she got the belt, bro. Until she got to Holly Holm. You look at the people she was fighting, they were like records of like 2-1, 3-5. I mean, they weren't stiff competition. And maybe because there wasn't a lot of competition in there, but Amanda Nunes had been in that division. It took Amanda forever to get a title shot. Amanda Nunes has been in that division since like 2011, bro.
Yeah, but it also took Amanda Nunes a while to become the fighter that she was too. She wasn't this dominant when she first showed up. And all I'm simply saying is, yeah, you're right. But listen, bro, they didn't throw Macy Barber in there expecting her to get beat now.
That's what I'm saying. They were trying to build her up. They threw her in there with somebody's first time in that division, thinking she was going to be able to rough her up and move her around like she had everybody else.
Right, but and that's where I'm tying it into what you're saying about Ronda Rousey. They didn't think she was going to get beat either. They believed the hype themselves, because had they really had a very objective look, they would have known. Had they even put her in there with real sparring, bro, some of this stuff would have revealed itself. They believed their own hype. They believed her. The fight game has changed dynamically since Ronda Rousey left in the short 4 or 5 years she's been gone, bro. A lot more women are involved. A lot more women are embracing the sport. They're great. If you bring Ronda Rousey in now, I don't think she runs through the division the way that she did when she first showed up. Now, she's going to beat a lot of girls.
No, she won't.
I don't think she's going to run through them like she did there. So
she won't beat anybody in the top 10 anymore. That's why she's looking to go back to the WWE and not come back to the UFC.
Well, that WWE plays a whole lot more. A whole lot more.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, you got fighters in the WWE who have walked away from big contracts to go to the UFC. You look at Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley still competes in MMA.
That's because they were not damaged. She was broken, bro. You keep
again. No, I'm not glossing over it. I'm actually going into it because she was broken. She knows she can't compete anymore.
Yeah. I'm gonna ride this WWE thing out, and I ain't even gonna remember that I used to fight. Yeah,
right.
Fight who? I fought UFC. Oh, I don't remember that.
That's because she got beaten up against the fence. she doesn't remember.
Holly Holm putting feet in them hands on her first,
and then she came back to fight Amanda Nunes, and that was ugly. That was ugly.
Yep.
So it's funny how that happened. Like Holly Holm beat her and then turned around and was beating the daylights out of Misha Tate until the last round and gave up a choke, if I'm not mistaken. And it's like, wow, how does this happen? And then, of course, Misha Tate ran into who? Your baby mama.
Yeah.
Amanda Nugent, one of them. Wow, that's cool.
Yeah. I don't know what that says about my preference, but if you say so, bro.
You like women that can kick your behind. Go ahead.
What we also glossed over too, now that you brought that up in the way that Misha Tate won that fight, bro. The Marquez Patolo fight. Same thing, man. Same thing, bro.
Yeah. Was one, yeah.
Wow.
Even the interview afterwards, he looked shocked to be interviewed. Like, hey, I just kept working and working and.
No, he came across the guy was just genuinely excited because
Yeah.
I think he realized what the rest of us had realized, that man, you guys just gave us one of the best fights that we've seen in a long time. And I even find myself questioning that because the UFC's been getting it right every gosh doggone week, looks like. Every week we talk about another great fight. So, I mean, wow, just wow for that fight. And for both guys, man, it's got to be heartbreaking for Patolo, who basically won the fight for 2.5 rounds and gave it up so much to the disappointment of his trainer that, remember, his trainer had stormed off, but came back just in time for them to beat up when he walked out of the cage because of what that would have symbolized. I think Cormier touched on that. Bro, just crazy, man. Just crazy.
So to both combatants in that fight, we humbly say,
proud of you, honey bunny.
No, we don't. Only he says that. We didn't say that. Bro, you gotta relax. Listen, I've been keeping up with Andre Ward. I know you probably forgot about him because you have short-term memory. You don't remember the greats that come before you. Listen,
there were no greats.
They asked Andre Ward what he thought about Canelo, and he said, there's not a fighter alive that can beat me. Bro, does Andre Ward sound like a man that might be getting a little bothered by this Canelo talk? Does he come back to fight Canelo? And if he does, bro, how much of a shot you giving Ward?
First of all, stay in commentating, okay? Keep your butt in that chair. Stay in commentary. That's what I'm telling you. Don't you bring your behind back in that ring. You have escaped as one of the GOATs. Don't go back and be a lamb for the sacrifice. You have escaped as being one of the... That is going to tarnish at least your legacy if you come back. You are not George St. Pierre. Stay.
Yeah, it'll tarnish Andre Ward's legacy because quiet is kept. He's the only undefeated fighter that everybody collectively recognizes. The only thing that they can say about Andre Ward is that they thought he might have lost the first Kovalev fight. Other than that, you're not going to question his resume. You're not going to question who he fought. You're not going to question his amateur background. You're not going to question his Olympic run. The man's been undefeated for 25 years of the 36 years he's been alive. Fighting Canelo only tarnishes his legacy because he loses that I don't think anybody's going to say, wow, he is not who we thought he was because he came back and fought the pound for pound best fighter on the planet. No. But I do find it interesting that my friend is so convicted about Andre Ward, not even thinking about taking this fight with Canelo. Are you saying that Canelo Alvarez washes Andre Ward if he comes out of retirement to fight him, bro?
First of all, Canelo's still active. Canelo's younger. Canelo's faster. If you wanted to fight him, you should have stuck around and kept fighting. Don't get out of the game. When did he retire?
It's been 2 years now, a year and a half, 2 years.
Right, and you have not been active, not actively training for a fight. So you want to come back because you got something to prove. First of all, become a better commentator. All right, stop. Stop drinking the Bob Arum Kool-Aid and becoming, and drink that jar of integrity that's sitting next to it. Because you have said some things as a commentator that make me go, "Arr?" So be good at that. You were great in the ring. No one can ever take that away from you. There's no reason for you to come back and take a chance at losing to Canelo. I mean, that just makes no sense.
So listen, this is where sometimes less is more. I ask you a direct question. I said, are you implying that Andre Ward get washes by Canelo if he comes out of retirement? That is a yes or no question, my friend. Which one is it?
Get ready, you mother big baby.
Listen.
Wow, bro.
Do I think he gets washed? No, he doesn't get washed. He gets beat. There's a chance where he can get stopped.
Wait. So wait a minute. Yeah, so he's gonna get beat decisively.
I said there's a chance that he could get stopped. You haven't fought in how long?
You are out of your mind. You are out of your. What is happening right now? What is wrong with you? Are you crazy? You're nuts.
I'm
bro,
not nuts.
Bro, there is not a chance on this planet Earth that if Andre Ward gets off the couch and trains for 2 months, 3 months, that Canelo Alvarez stops him. There is no chance, bro. There is no chance of that happening. There is no chance of that happening, bro. That is blasphemous, bro. I am so ashamed for us on this platform that you said that, bro. You should apologize to our viewers. You should apologize.
You want me to apologize? You really think I should apologize? For telling the truth? No, I'm not going to apologize.
You hollering and cussing. You want to fight.
Right. You can get as mad as you want on this platform.
I'm ashamed for you.
Don't be ashamed for me. You got plenty enough to be ashamed for yourself. Don't be ashamed for me.
No, because I think that we're taking a credibility hit here on this platform because you spew this nonsense. What is gotten in here? What's the issue, bro?
Do I have your attention now? Okay. Because I speak the truth does not say we take a credibility hit. You've got Canelo, right? Who, you're still hanging on his nipple getting nourishment. So by your words, he's the best fighter on the planet. So why would you even want to see Andre Ward? That should be the first question. Do you even want to see Andre Ward come back and fight Canelo?
No, I do not.
And why not?
But it is not because I am hanging from the proverbial teat of Canelo. It is only because I think that Ward could lose a fight. I think in a decision, he could potentially lose.
I said
that's all I'm saying.
He would lose the fight. And I said he could. There is a chance he could get stopped.
Nah. Listen. You said that could. You said that could. Like, hey, your boy might get slept. That's kind of what you said.
That's how you heard it. That's not what I said.
When you said there's a chance he could
that's how you heard it.
You said there's a chance he could get stopped.
Right. That's what I said.
And what that means in our culture is your boy might get slept. That's what you just pretty much said to me. And everybody heard you say it. So don't deny it, bro. For real.
You know what?
Tripping.
I think if Andre Ward wants to get back in the ring with Canelo, he needs to take the advice of Big Brother James.
I don't know karate, but I know karate.
Bring a weapon in there with you, bro. Bring something in there with you, bro. Tell me.
Man, you gonna stop trying to use James Brown to do your bidding too.
You would have go. You would have go to 168 and 175. You would have go, bro. Go. But you retired for a reason. And it wasn't that there wasn't any competition out there. You retired for a reason.
Bro, let's keep this in mind. Let's be truthful about this now. Canelo didn't want to come up to fight Ward. Ward said, I'm at 75, come get me. He didn't want to do that.
He was at what at that point? 60?
60.
Right.
He was at 60.
Right.
He's at 60 now. Well, he up until a couple weeks ago.
Right. So, if I'm Canelo and I'm considered the best fighter on the planet, even though the best fighter on the planet has cleaned out 168 and 175, but I don't need that fight, I'm like Floyd Mayweather at this point. I don't hear you, I just hear money. And you are not going to give me enough money to put my integrity at stake. So, I'm not coming up to fight you.
Let's be clear. Andre Ward and Canelo would have done amazing numbers on both sides.
You're missing my point. They would have done amazing numbers.
No, you're right. The juice ain't worth the squeeze as far as Canelo's concerned. Exactly. I get it. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm just saying that that's just kind of,
Now my body is now up to 168. I actually went up to 175 and beat an old man. So, matter of fact, didn't he beat the same old man Ward beat?
Yeah, Ward beat him twice first. They could have made it catch weight. Canelo King catch.
Yes.
Y'all could have made it at 170, 171.
Yes.
Come on, man. Canelo didn't want that smoke. You and I both know that.
Right. Again,
neither did Triple G.
No.
Remember Triple G was getting all those draining guys down. Yeah, they didn't want the real guy. And at that time, Ward could have probably made 68, or again, it could have been a catchweight fight.
But they
didn't want that.
Triple G didn't want him. I agree. Nobody wanted Andre Ward. Nobody. So, but you take that a few years down the road, Canelo has been constantly active. Ward coming off the couch, out the press box, whatever you want to say. That to me is not an advisable fight. Do I think Ward has a chance? Yes, because Ward had those intangibles. He had them jumper cables in here. Does he have a chance? Yes, but there's also a chance he could get knocked out.
Bro, question for you.
Oh, here we go.
Do you think, yes or no question, my friend, right now, do you think either Earl Spence or Terrence Crawford could stop Floyd Mayweather in a 12-round fight?
Stop him, no.
So then...
And here's the reason.
Floyd, hold on.
What was Floyd's strengths?
What
were Floyd's strengths? Floyd's strength first was his defense.
His boxing IQ.
His defense. That's not going to go. Your punching speed can go. Huh?
And what was Andre Ward's strength? Boxing IQ.
That's what you keep going to boxing IQ. I said specifically, Floyd has an incredible boxing IQ, yes, but his defense was immaculate.
Okay. Now, with that being said, that was Floyd's blueprint in every single fight. What was Andre Ward's blueprint in every single fight?
You tell me.
He didn't have one because he could do everything very good. Okay. And once he got in there with you, he came with a game plan you didn't have an answer for because he could make you do things that you didn't want to do. And that's what I'm getting at. So whatever he needed to be for, whatever he needed to be for, he could do that. So it didn't have to be a defensive wizard. If I can make you uncomfortable just trying to push you back. Or I can be a defensive wizard if you're a guy that want to come forward because I'm all things in the ring. Because of that, I think he could do things that makes Canelo uncomfortable, like move. We know Canelo don't like boxers. We know that. Boxers give him trouble. Guys that can get on their legs and move, give him trouble. Andre Ward would do that.
Andre, this guy's on the cabbage, so please don't drink his Kool-Aid. Don't let him talk you into getting in that ring. Don't do it. You're already got that O there. That O. 40, 50 years from now, when people look back, they're going to say, oh man, Andre Ward cleaned out 2 divisions and he was an undefeated champion. Just let it ride. Let it ride.
As long as Andre Ward continues to provide 10% of all of his first fruits to his Jesus, bro, he is going to continue to do well in the sport. I think if he comes back, it'll be all right.
Don't do it.
Whatever.
Don't let this man talk
Anyway.
you there. And it's not just into his Jesus. It's everybody's Jesus. All you gotta do is accept him. So the 10% is great. The fact that you're paying your tithes, lovely. But you don't have to give your 10% of your body or brain to Canelo. Just stay where you are. Just stay where you are. Do I think there's a chance you could win? Yes. But there's a greater chance that you could lose.
All right, we up against it. My homeboy done straddled the fence long enough. He
I
should
didn't
have
straddle
saddle
the fence.
sores.
This guy,
He should have
just
saddle sores today.
because I did not give him a good arguing point, he says I straddled the fence. It's 2 p.m. I did not straddle the fence.
You so petty. Anyway, we up against it. What you got, bro?
I got Canelo in a decision. Listen, we got the big boys coming up this week. The heavyweights. We'll talk about them tomorrow in the UFC. We got some boxing coming at you. Miguel Berchelt this weekend. So tune in tomorrow.
Adrian
Broner.
Robert Easter Jr.
Robert. First of all,
Robert Easter
any
Jr.
grown
Ryan
behind
Martin
man.
on the undercard.
Who?
Robert Easter, Ryan Martin on the undercard of that fight.
Any grown man that calls himself E Bunny, you gotta watch and see. Just because he looks special. Like he ate lunch first. It's gonna be a good fight though. It's gonna be a good card. We'll go from there. Hey, looking forward to the return of Bellator in April. Looking forward to the Night of Champions. Yes, I've coined that for the UFC 259. There are 3 championship fights and 4 champions on display that night.
Hey, shout out to Bellator too, bro, for signing a deal with Showtime. Now they on BBC in England or the UK, and they on Showtime stateside. You called the bro, you said you needed the deal.
They
went BBC first. It was like, good, but that's kind of a little softball.
Right.
I think Showtime is what you was looking for.
Yes.
So yeah, congratulations to Bellator. Good move.
I still think they would have been better putting it on a regular cable network, but Showtime is already equipped to handle that. So with the broadcast team. Hey, Showtime, if you need some commentators, you don't have to look far. We're right here. We're experienced. We're not free, but we're cheap. And think about the platform, how we can really auction the Badger off if we're on Showtime. That would literally be Showtime after dark. So shout out to all the people who've inquired so far about bidding on the Badger. It's going to happen. It's real. 2021, get your money right, because he's going to somebody. We're going to raise money for this show. He's going to somebody. He's got the glasses on and the hat on. He said he may even keep the headphones on, make you feel like you're in the middle of a fight when he tightens you up. So we're still accepting bids.
No, we're not.
Opening it up big time. So
We were never taking bids.
yes, we were, because we've gotten some. We have gotten some. So, but we need higher bids than this. I mean, I'm just saying, this is like Kraft macaroni and cheese bids we're getting so far. We need, Charlie's Steakhouse bids. That's what we need.
And what that just means that the market dictates that my value as far as that concerns is pretty low, and I'm okay with that. So
No, he's not. He's hurt right now. You can't see it because he got the sunglasses on, but he's crying inside. Even Jomo got quiet because Jomo's upset about this. Jomo's like, some of the ladies I've seen him with, y'all should be bidding big time. Just saying. Y'all should be bidding big time. He's experienced, from what I've heard. I used to work with the man. He's ready. He's working out. He's ginsenged up. He's ready to go. So if you want an exciting, first we were doing the evening, but you can have the exciting weekend, and if you got enough money, you can have it for the week. All I'm doing is providing dinner, and whatever else, he's gonna take care of it. Sir?
That's it. You done? That's it. We
Shout
good?
out to my wife, my daughter, my mom, my pops, my cousins. Hey, I really want to give a heartfelt shout out to Miss Raquel Miller. And her mother went home to be with the Lord. And this is a tough situation, a tough time. But just know, sis, that you are family, and we are all praying for your well-being and praying for blessings upon you and your family, your entire family. So shout out to Miss Raquel Miller. I remember when we were having issues, technical issues with the interview in the beginning, her mom was trying to help her get it right. She didn't come on camera. We could hear her in the background. So when you have a mom that is that integral in your life, life seems to stop. But just know that we're here for you. We love you.
Yeah, I mean, I echo those sentiments, man. Shout out to everybody on Fire Nation for rocking with us, man. We appreciate y'all hanging with us today. We'll be back tomorrow, same bat time, same bat place. Some more interesting things to talk about. Like he just said, the heavyweights in UFC getting it down there. Adrian Broner's coming back. We got to talk about that, man. I'm low-key excited about that. Hey, rest easy to Zachary Woldman. I don't know much about him, but he was a Golden Gloves champion out of the Wild Card Gym back in 2010. No longer with us. Not sure what happened there, but I've seen a lot of different fighters posting about him. So special rest up to him. And that's all we got. We'll see y'all tomorrow, man. Spread a little love. It's bad out there. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Financial Nation. Peace.
Yeah, man. I reached out to her when I saw it.
Good. I when she posted, I was like, I don't want to seem like a weirdo by like, replying because I don't know her that well, but I did feel like I wanted to do or say something to her. So I'm glad that you reached out, bro. That was dope.
I reached out to her via text message. I really didn't want to put it on social media.
Yeah, that was dope. Good thing, bro. Good thing. Any word from Tiara Brown?
I'm gonna reach out to her again. I know she's very busy.
Right.
She's like back in school, working on some other stuff, and
That's
working
cool.
down in Fort Myers and still boxing. So
Do you want a guest for tomorrow, or are we good as is? Because we got to talk about the UFC heavyweights. Got to talk about Broner in the Showtime card. Got to talk about the Rochelle card. So, do we want to bring somebody on, or are you okay with just running the show tomorrow?
we can just run the show tomorrow. I mean, I always prefer having a guest because I think we can kind of work those things in. But who were you thinking of having?
We still can because I mean the fights are this weekend, so I can reach out to either AC or Zachary Cooper. I wanted you to look him up on Instagram. He's just a sharp dude. I had a conversation with him about an hour. Just a sharp dude in general. But he's out in Seattle. But yeah, him and Paulie Malignaggi are best friends. Yeah, I think he fought for a PBC. I think he got 11 pro fights, but just stopped fighting. He wanted to get into acting. He's just a very creative, well-rounded brother.
He and who are best friends?
Paulie Malignaggi.
Yes, we need him on here.
Yeah.
we need him on here.
Okay.
If you can get him, if not, I mean, those are two really decent interviews that we can kind of promote. So if you want to work on them for like Thursday or Monday, my cousin asked if she could come on here.
Why not?
Oh man, somebody posted right as we were going off the air. I hate when they do that.
I don't know what it is.
He's from Penalty Talk, Jordan's co-host.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, got it. Okay.
I forgot what I was saying when I saw that. Oh, she wants to come on and talk. She's like, y'all need a female perspective on boxing. I'm like, but she doesn't really want to talk about anything other than boxing.
I mean, yeah, we could bring on as a guest interview, and depending on how the show ebbs and flows, we could bring her back periodically as like a just have her on, to give her perspective, maybe once a month, however you see fit to schedule her in. But yeah, I wouldn't mind giving her a test run to have her come on the show and just have the conversation. That's cool.
Okay. Do you want to do her? Bring her on? She asked about a Thursday, and I'm thinking about Thursdays. Usually, we're trying to build up to whatever's coming that weekend. Do we have a lot of boxing coming up this weekend?
Oh no, we got a lot of stuff going on, bro. Are you sure we offline?